Better not waste time and head for the port's entrance. The appointment was more than half an hour ago. There's no one here. This is the right place, and I'm not that late that most people wouldn't still be waiting. The sun is shining. Rather optimistic for an act of vandalism. They probably called me from this telephone. I remember hearing a ship's siren during the call. There's something on the ground. Dannazione. It's blood. It's fresh. Very fresh. Otherwise the rain would have washed it away. I didn't like this case right from the very beginning. These traces of blood certainly don't win at any points. What the hell? Dannazione. That Chinese cab driver ran away and left me here. I hate cab drivers. It would be better if I called the police. Yes, I'd better call the police. Hello, operator? Operator. There's no line. Someone must have cut the cables. That explains why the telephone call I received was cut off so abruptly. No cab and no phone. Looks like I'll have to take care of things myself. An open can. Looks like there's pitch in there. The pitch looks like it can still be used. There are traces of blood on the ground. These traces of blood aren't a good sign. It's the Harbor Master's office. There's a notice. We would like to inform you that the Harbor Master's office is open daily from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's closed. A stop sign. A wooden stick. From the markings on the side, it must be one of the rods they use to measure the depth of the water. Right now, I don't need it. There's a toy company logo on these crates. Who knows? Maybe Santa Claus decided to give up his sleigh for a more practical merchant ship. Melville Port. In the 1920s, it was an important loading and unloading point for fishermen who frequented the East River. But I hadn't heard about it for years. I thought it had closed. It's the Manhattan Bridge. They finished it about 20 years ago. It connects Lower Manhattan with Brooklyn. It's too dark. I can barely see where I'm stepping, but I can see a blood trail pointing to the docks. Anyway, I have to... It's pitch black. If I take another step, I might end up in the water. Drowning seems like one of the most unpleasant endings I can think of. Anyway, I have to find a way to go to the docks area. The blood trail points in that direction. There's a toy company. Who knows? Anyway. There's a toy company. Who knows? It's a signal buoy. The anchor must be broken, otherwise there's no reason for it to be so close to the mooring. Crates, barrels, and other crap. Everything that you'd expect to find at a port. A ton of useless stuff. This car tells me I'm not the only one at the port. I didn't come to steal cars. A rowboat that has seen better days. Kane and Smith Warehouse. Looks like they haven't been used for a while. A metal door. It's closed. I would need to have a good reason to do it. There are just hangars and warehouses for the next 2 miles. Walking is not an option. No, it's saying something that it's still floating. Kane and Smith Warehouse. Looks like they haven't been used for a while. Wooden stick. From the markings on the side, it must be one of the rods they use to measure the depth of the water. Right now, I don't need it. Nothing I can do. The panel is completely useless. An electric panel. It's pitch. Anyway. Better not get too close. I might end up in the water with what's left of this pier. Yes, I'd better call the police. Hello, operate. It's pointless. It's the Harbor Master's office. There's a notice. We would like to inform you that the Harbor Master's office is open daily from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. A metal door. I can't break open everything. My cigarettes and my lucky lighter, even though it has never brought me much luck. No, it doesn't make any sense. No clue. No. No. There's a toy. Who knows? Maybe Santa. They don't fit in my coat. Otherwise, I'd be more than happy to carry a huge wooden crate around New York. These are the typical things that are essential to make it in a big city. My gun. I bought it when I got my private investigator's license, but I stopped carrying it with me almost immediately. It's just dead weight. It looks like there's something inside these crates. Let's see. It's part of a pipe. It could be helpful. It looks like a piece of piping. I don't see how I could use them together. There are just hangars and warehouses for the next two. An open can. Looks like there's pitch in there. Yes, I'll take a little. Now the pipe is full of pitch. No clue. No clue. No. No. The pitch should work as glue. Right now, I don't need it. A rather improvised hooked stick. No, it doesn't. There's a toy company. Who knows? A stop sign. I think that it's more useful here than in my apartment. A rather improvised. Right now, I don't need. It's fine where it is. Yes. Hello? It's point. No cab? It's definitely the telephone they called me from. And those traces of blood on the ground make me think that whoever called didn't make it out of here in good shape. A ton of useless stuff. Nothing that's worth the trouble of picking up. Nothing that's worth the trouble of picking up. These traces of blood aren't a good sign. These traces of blood. These traces. These traces. It's a terrible idea. Did you take me for one of those guys who shoots at every little thing? Did you take me for one? It's a terrible idea. Did you take me? We're not at a shooting range. We're not. We're not at it. There's a flashlight here. Yes, I'll take it. The flashlight is in good condition, but it doesn't have any batteries. Finding something ready to be used would have been too easy. There's a toy. Who knows? They don't fit in my. These are the. They don't fit. No. I don't see. No clue. I don't. There are barrels and crates everywhere at the port. Nothing that's... The light from this buoy definitely doesn't work on its own. It must be battery powered. Maybe it uses the same kind as my flashlight. And what should I use it for? Yes, this should work. The improvised hook does the job. It hooks the buoy and brings it to the pier. Okay, I brought the buoy closer. Okay, let's hope that the buoy takes the same batteries as the flashlight. They take the same batteries. If I weren't already up because of that anonymous call, and I hadn't found traces of blood at a semi-abandoned port, I'd say that today is my lucky day. It's time to shed some light on this story. Gun and flashlight in hand, I walk around the crates scattered around the port. I'm careful to cast my light everywhere that someone could be hiding with the idea of whacking me over the head with something when I least expect it. There isn't anyone on the dock. I decide to look around the piers. And there, I find something that doesn't really surprise me. A dead body. Sean's dead body. I touch his face with my fingers. It's warm. He can't have been dead more than 20 minutes. Rifling through the pockets of his coat, I find a bottle that, from the smell of it, must have rye whiskey in it. And a couple documents with the name John Ford on them. They're done so well, they almost seem real. All of a sudden, a noise behind me brings me back to reality. But it's too late. A set of knuckles meets my jaw like a truck. I fall to the ground. From the rebound, my finger pulls the trigger and the gun goes off. The trajectory of the bullet is as random as my shot. The owner of the fist stands there like a statue, making noises like a caged gorilla at the zoo. I try to think of a quick way to knock him over. He's as big as a house, but a kick to his legs will knock him over like a consumptive kid. Right before I'm about to jump, the guy turns around and runs away. I follow him. But as soon as I get off the piers, a light beam hits me right in the face. "Hands up," says a voice, but I can't see the face. "New York Police," continues the voice.
Del Nero, that's a great story you just told. An anonymous call, a mysterious assailant, and a dead body. Sounds like the plot of one of those crime novels so popular these days.
I bet it's those kinds of books that made you the lieutenant you are today.
Hey, I wouldn't joke if I were you. You're not in a position to be joking. Let's summarize your version of the facts. Around 20 past midnight, you got a call from a man. He said he had information for you and asked you to go to the Melville port. You agreed to meet him. When you got to the port, no one was there. You decided to walk to the piers, and there you discovered the body of Sean McLean, a former police officer who had been your partner in this department years back until the Valenti case when you both got kicked out of the force. And to conclude, you claim that you were assaulted by some mystery guy who was chasing you when you got arrested by Officers Harris and McGee. Now, is this all correct?
It's the third time that I've told you the facts of the matter. I can repeat it as often as you like so that you can see whether I trip up, but that technique isn't going to work.
You are accused of homicide, Del Nero, and I suggest you cooperate with us if you don't want to end up in a cell. There are some unclear points that I'd like to shed some light on if you don't mind.
Sure, I don't have any other appointments. My knitting class has already ended.
Del Nero, joke around if you think this behavior will help you. At 20 past midnight, you got a telephone call from a man that asked you to go to the old Melville port. You agreed without thinking twice. Let's talk about the telephone call you received.
It was a guy with some information about one of my cases.
Okay. It must have been very important information to make you go to the port in the middle of the night. What information are we talking about? As you wish, Del Nero. If you don't want to answer, you'll pay the consequences. Based on your story, when you got the call, you went right to the Melville port. How did you get to the port?
I took my car.
Don't lie. Your car was found in Harlem on the opposite side of the city, so this means you didn't take it. How did you get to the port?
I took a cab.
Interesting. From the telephone records, we know you called a cab company at 12:27, but we don't have any proof that you really did take a cab. How do you explain the fact that no driver reports having you in their cab?
I threatened a Chinese driver that was trying to pretend he was Mexican.
Don't joke around. Answer my question. How do you explain the fact that no driver reports having you in their cab?
I threatened a
Don't joke around. How do you explain the fact?
I paid the cab driver so that he'd say nothing.
Okay. When you got to the port, did you meet anybody?
The port was deserted.
Interesting. What did you do when you arrived at the port?
I took a look around.
Good. The officer said that you were inside the port. Why did you go to the piers?
There were traces of blood.
Don't lie, Del Nero. My officers didn't find any traces of blood. Del Nero, I'm tired of your attitude. I hope you like this room, because until you decide to talk, you're staying here. Have a nice stay. Goodbye, Del Nero.
Dannazione. Great. A homicide charge was all that was missing. I wonder what else this day has in store for me. The radiator's shut off. There's never been a comfortable interrogation room. It's the counter where you return personal effects. Not much that I can do. It's closed. Hey, is there anybody in there? If you plan on keeping me here for long, you could at least give me a magazine to read. This place is boring. It doesn't look like anybody is in there.